following friends are dedicated to finding recipes that are healthy, inexpensive, and taste delicious too. This white bean stew I'm about to show you is one of my favorites, and I hope that you'll love it as well. Okay, so in terms of ingredients for this recipe, we're going to need 1 yellow onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 1 tomato. You can use a Roma tomato, you can use a vine tomato, whatever is looking fresh and is the most affordable at the grocery store at the time. 2 cans of white kidney beans, a bit of oregano, some soy sauce, and some pepper to taste. For the utensils for this recipe, you're gonna want a nice soup spoon to be able to stir, a cutting board, a cutting knife, a can opener, and you're also gonna need a large soup pot or a frying pan works as well. So first things first, we want to mince the garlic and dice our onion. I like to crush it up nice and small. Now you're gonna get your yellow onion. We're gonna chop the top off and the bottom as well. Really make sure that you get all of those kind of extra pieces of skin and outer peel, just so that none of that goes into the stew. And we're gonna dice our onion. I like to chop it right down the middle to start. Then a couple lines, keeping my finger on the top so the pieces don't kind of fall away. You see how I've lined it up? I've got 3 horizontal lines, and then I kind of cut it a bit like a tic-tac-toe square, like a little checker pattern, because sometimes you kind of have to break apart the pieces with your finger because the onion will stick together. Next, we're going to chop up our tomato. We want to make sure we rinse it nice and clean first. I'm going to chop it right down the middle first. Once more. Then I like to just make sure that I'm getting rid of the top and the bottom pieces. When we cook the tomatoes will reduce down a little bit, so it's no problem to make them a little bit larger because they will get smaller as they heat up in the pan. They don't have to be perfect. You can just chop them kind of like a bite-sized piece, like that. We want to prep our beans before we throw anything into the pan. So I'm just going to open these up here. And the thing with the beans is we're also going to want to rinse those because that'll help to get rid of any excess salt that's in the can. So now that I have all my vegetables prepped, I'm going to start cooking the garlic and the onion on the stove. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of oil over medium heat on a pan or a pot, whichever one works. And we're going to just do that right now. Garlic in now. I'm also going to add the onion. I'm going to come in and mix it around a little bit. Just make sure that all parts of the vegetables are kind of evenly dispersed on the pan. So as you can see, it's been about 5 minutes. The onions are getting nice and soft. I can smell the garlic. It smells delicious. I'm going to go ahead and add the beans and the tomatoes now. Soy sauce can be really salty, so I always just add a little bit at a time, kind of taste it as I go. But a safe amount for this recipe would be probably about a half tablespoon to start with. And we're also going to add some oregano. This really picks up the flavor, I find. Again, you can do about like a half tablespoon of the oregano. And just add it. You can dump the whole thing in, but I like to break it up with my fingers to really get the tastes from the leaves. And you're gonna wanna let that cook for about 10 to 15 minutes, but make sure to keep an eye on it. Ideally, if you use a non-stick pan and avoid cast iron, that helps because the beans sometimes tend to stick to certain kinds of pans. But if you have just like a stainless steel or a non-stick, that'll really help. So I'm checking on my pan again, and it looks like everything is just about ready. The onions are nice and soft. The tomatoes have loosened up and kind of made things a little bit soupier, and it smells really, really great. And there we have a white bean stew. You can serve this with a nice loaf of bread, some crackers, or it goes great on its own as well. I'm gonna try it out.